Hey, this is the Gig Life Podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Taylor. Welcome to a few gig tales. Ever wonder what happens behind the scenes? In this sub-series of the Gig Life Podcast, you'll hear some interesting tales, stories, anecdotes of life on the road, stage, studio, told by the musicians and the artists that were there. Sometimes their names will be changed or removed to protect the innocent and the guilty. Today's episode features 4 stories. First up, Victor Rounds tells us about a recording session with a jealous recording artist. Then Scott Burford recalls meeting Keith Urban's guitarist in a Picton Pub. Phil Ceberano meets the daughter of the king. And then Virginia Lillye risks her life to perform for the troops in the Middle East. Warning, this episode has some swearing, so listener discretion is advised. A Few Gig Tales, episode 4. Here we go.
So I'm in the studio and I'm recording an album back in, I've forgotten what year it is, but it was at Paradise Studios in this up near Darlinghurst there. It was run and owned by Billy Fields, and we were recording album. It's called, and so anyway, Mark Punch was in the session, Ricky Fatah, and I played bass on just on this one track. And we were just laying down some tracks, and Mark was going out with a beautiful Italian girl. I've forgotten her name, Annetta or somebody. But she just decided to pop in one day because on Mark's invitation, Mark said, come in. One day we're just tracking vocals, you know. It'd be great to come in and check it out and see how it works and all this. So she just came in quietly and in the other booth, and she could see everybody that comes and goes. And then she was singing that in the middle of the take, she just went, whoa, stop. Who's that chick? And Mark's going, oh, no, that's fine. That's Rosetta, I think it was. Yeah, she's, no, it's fine. This is my partner, this is Rosetta. I don't care who she is, mate. No, get her out of here. And Mark's in the other booth going, you're kidding, aren't you? He said, no, I'm not kidding. Get her out of here. He said, that's my partner. She's just come here, just sitting down in the couch. Get her out of here, and just started swearing all these expletives and stuff like this. And Mark's just going, I don't believe you. She said, what do you not believe me? This is a private session. You should have, whatever with me and all this. Mark just put down the guitar and just walked out and said, fuck yeah.
Oh.
And I had a blue with her too on that recording session.
Right.
And just out of that, just to spite me, she didn't credit me on the album.
No way. But everybody else is on there.
Everyone else. Yeah.
I was playing at a pub in Picton a few years ago, and I just, maybe a month before, I think, something like that. Anyway, I'd just taken possession of my new electric guitar, which is a Fender Eric Johnson signature Strat series guitar. I'd actually waited years to buy this thing, and I finally went, yep, I'm going to do it, and I ordered it, and, excuse me, it took about 8 or 9 months to arrive from memory. Anyway, I finally had it, and about a month later, I'm playing this pub in Picton, and this guy appeared in front of me, going, mate, you're the worst guitarist I've ever heard. Mate, you are shit. Give me that guitar, I'll show you how to play. And I go, no. First few times I was polite and just sort of nodded. And I was mid-song too. He was trying to yell at me from where he was standing in front of me on the dance floor area. And I was just trying to, gently encourage him to leave me alone. My general principle is I don't let people play guitars, my guitars, unless I know them. And even then, sometimes I won't let them play because I know them. And I never get people up at gigs, or rarely. Once again, unless I know them and I've worked with them, or I know them really well. As friends, I'd probably go, yeah, okay, no, this is going to be good. Had a few disaster stories with that, which we may discuss at another time as well. Anyway, this guy's standing there and he's going, mate, you're shit. You're shit. You're the worst guitarist I've ever heard. Give me that guitar. I'll show you how to play. And I kept on saying no. Then he proceeded to inform me that it had in fact been Keith Urban's guitarist and had played on many of his albums and toured across the States several times with Keith. And I was shaking my head and saying, no, you're not touching it. I don't care who you are. And by this stage, I was getting fed up with the guy, to be honest. And he kept going at me. And, you're shit, you're fucked, you're the worst guitarist I've ever heard. Give me that thing, I'll show you how to really play. Once again, he went back to the Keith Urban story. At which point in time, I noticed there was a puddle of urine around his feet on the dance floor. And it was spreading everywhere. A couple of women looked down and saw it and yelled, yuck. Or something probably a lot stronger than that. And the next thing, this guy was hauled off by the security guards. So, yeah, he's the sort of person that, I could have let him get to me with his comments about my playing, but he's really not the sort of person that's worth taking advice from.
Okay, so one time we were in LA, and I think we were there doing some recording, but we also had the band there and we were doing some gigs. It might have been, wow, far out. There was a thing called something Oz, some tour, and we were all playing in LA. There's a whole bunch of bands. I think Noiseworks were there. I think the Divinals were there. I think the Angels. And it was 2 weeks after the LA riots. So when we pulled into LA and drove from the airport, I remember driving up La Brea and there's like armored vehicles and soldiers standing on the corner with machine guns and stuff and, burnt out buildings. And it was pretty full on. Real sad. It was a sad time to put on a show, but we were all there and we're all there having a great time anyway. So Kate and I had a connection with a friend of ours, Danny, who married Lisa Marie Presley, right? And one night we all went down to this rock and roll gig. This was such a rock and roll night. In the band room, there was a tight little stage, and I remember what's his name, that little guitarist from the Divinals? Mark McEntee, yeah. McEntee. Yeah, so it was Mark McEntee playing guitar. I think Brian Setzer was on stage as well. It was like this rock and roll supergroup just playing rock and roll. And it was like so cool. And it was packed. And then the room next door, there was this big, massive, long table, and we're all sitting like, I don't know, kind of like kings of rock. It was just fantastic. It was just awesome. Anyway, sitting up at one end of the table is Lisa Marie Presley, right, with her entourage. And then our band at the end of the table, and we're all having fun, and Kate was sitting up the other end. And anyway, one of Lisa Marie Presley's entourage came up to me and said, Lisa would like to meet you. I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd love to meet Lisa. No probs. Anyway, so I get up and I'm just sort of on my way, and the person from the entourage says, don't mention Elvis. Right, well, that's like waving a red flag to a bull. Right? And I'm like, okay, no probs. I'll try.
What am I going to say? What are we going to talk about?
So I get up and there's a chair sitting there, and she's there, and she actually is quite she has a charisma about her, and I don't know if it's just because she's like got this massive chip on her shoulder for being, harassed her whole life for being the king's daughter, or what, but she just had this vibe about her. Anyway, I get introduced. Lisa, this is Phil. I go, hey, Lisa, nice to meet you. And I just stop for a moment. I go, there's something I've got to get off my chest, right? So I jump up on the table and go, a bright light city gonna set my soul, gonna set my soul on fire. I start singing Viva Las Vegas. Anyway, the whole table, it's like one of those scenes in a movie. The whole table goes fucking completely dead quiet, and they're all looking to see what Lisa's response is going to be, all right? And I'm pissed and I'm dancing away on the table. And anyway, I stop and I sit back down and she says, someone get this man a drink. I like this guy. Sit right down here. And we had a great night and joked and talked and just chatting with her about, I mean, she was telling me stories about when she was a kid, people like Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard. And, just they were like her uncles, and just being around that the whole time, it was mind blowing.
Okay, so there's a story of when I so now I've done about 5 or 6 tours over to the Middle East now to perform for the troops. But my very first one was to Afghanistan. And with these shows, they had like a combination of people on board. So it was like a country singer, a comedian, they had an army band, and they had myself. And so yeah, every base that we visited, every army base that we visited, hello COVID, every base that we went to see, we got briefed on, the dangers and what we had to look out for, and just to be, aware of our surroundings and what could happen. Anyway, the tour went really well, and it was the last gig of the tour. And we were performing in this big hangar, and the audience was packed. We had Australian troops, English troops, American troops, Dutch troops, and Italian troops. There was so many different nationalities there. And anyway, the show's going really well. And in these briefings that we had at each base, the last one we were at, they were like, okay, we're on very high alert at this base here, and there's 2 sirens that you need to keep an ear out for. And the first siren, they explained how it went, and that meant one thing. And then there was another siren that you had to look out for, and that meant another thing. I'm not sure if I can say exactly what it was. So yeah, so it was 2 sirens that we were, told about, but that's kind of crucial moment if you hear that. And we're like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, it's not going to happen. Like, we're all good. And anyways, yeah, we're doing the last show of the tour, and the comedian's done his slot, and crowd's going crazy, and the country girl's done her little bit, and that was all good. And there was an FHM model there as well as like the compere and stuff. So she was introducing and doing all that on stage, and then the army band played something, and then I got up to perform. And I was halfway through my set, and I started off on an Alanis Morissette song, and I look out to the back of the audience, and I slowly see the crowds dispersing, and I'm thinking, where are they? Where are they going in a hurry? I thought, maybe they have a meeting. Maybe they have, they've got to get somewhere quickly or something. I don't know. And next minute, more people start to scurry away, and I'm thinking, what's going on? They don't like Alanis Morissette. And then the band stopped, and then you could hear the siren, and it was just like, oh shit. I can't remember if I had the microphone in my hand and put it back in the mic or stand, or just dropped it on the floor. I really can't remember. I just kind of went, just froze and started running on the side of off the side of the stage. And to my surprise, one of the special forces guys just came and picked me up in his arms and carried me like running off stage, and my legs are going crazy like a cartoon, you know. As he's running, I'm still running with my legs in the air, and then he throws me to the ground, and, you know, we all have to face a particular direction, and on your stomach with your elbows in, and my adrenaline's pumped from the gig, and, you know, now it's just amplified with this attack on ground. So yeah, and I'm like going, oh my god, and the country singer's like running with my back going, it's okay, we're not gonna die. And I'm like, no, we're not gonna die, but what the fuck's going on? And then anyway, we're all there, and everyone's on the ground, and there was a bit of commotion and stuff, and then it was like 10 minutes or so. It felt like a lifetime that we were just lying on the ground. And then after a certain period of time, we got shuffled off into like a bunker area, and then we got the all clear. It was all good. You know, it was safe now. And if I wanted to go back on stage, I was, you know, I'm more than welcome to. And so they asked me, you know, how do you feel about going back on and finishing your set? And I just said, absolutely, you know, the stuff these guys go through every day, absolutely. So, yeah, so I went back out, and I sang Highway to Hell and Living on a Prayer, which blew the house down. I shouldn't say those words, but yeah, it went down a treat, and they just loved it, and we were like, woo! Like, yeah, just going crazy. So that was just, yeah, like, it's not gonna happen, no way, you know. And then, yeah, boom.
I hope you dug those 4 stories. More coming your way soon. If you have a gig tale and you want to share, get in touch with me via the socials. Links in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe, share, rate, review, and if you want, you can also donate or leave a tip. All right, catch you soon, guys. See ya.